What's going on, LEGO Maniacs, and welcome back to a brand new video. I am ZacATK. So today I have a couple of things I want to show you that I have worked on the LEGO City, and right now I'm actually starting a second project without finishing another one because I ran out of parts I need, and I didn't really exactly have the full idea of what I wanted to do just yet, and it involved the train station I talked about in the last video. So I'm going to be working on that in today's video, but also I'm going to be working on converting one of my smaller builds into a larger build from a 16 by 32 base plate to a 32 by 32 base plate, because I'm going to be utilizing the back half of that base plate for the train tracks. And so I've been working on that and trying to figure out a way to scrounge extra pieces up for the train tracks while I work on my wait for my latest pick-a-brick order to come in. It was double VIP points this weekend, so I ordered the parts that I needed, and hopefully that'll be enough to get me all the way around the city for the track and complete that and call that project done. And then we can start working on other parts of the city and go on from there. And I'm also looking at bricklink sets for the train station. I'm hoping to get that in, sometime this week, since I'm going to be off for a couple days for vacation for Thanksgiving this upcoming week. So anyways, let me show you all the things I've been working on so far in the city, and yeah, so let's take a trip over to my build desk. So what I have here is two 32 by 32 base plates joined up together with the train track here. I need still the 1x1 tiles to go on the side to complete the look of the train track. But what I have here is set number 60335, which was the train station. I believe it came out in 2022. And so what I'm trying to accomplish here is I want to use this set. I really like how this looks. It looks very city-like, as the theme the LEGO City set here represents. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to utilize this to where I could actually use as a train station, but also the problem I'm running into is, one, I like how this looks, I really do, but what I want to do is I want to complete it on the back. So if we spin it around here real quick, we can see that this is the street facing side. This is the side that's going to face the street in my LEGO City. And so the problem that I'm running into is that I'm trying to figure out a way to complete this. And so my plan is to get another copy of this set and essentially mirror it to where it's a clamshell, essentially, to where it closes in this set. I am going to make a handful of changes to this to where it makes more sense and to where it's actually somewhat functional. And so the part that I'm going to be, as far as changing the inside of it, is where the cafe and ticket is. I'm going to enclose it to where you essentially have to come in a door, and you can either go to a cafe and enjoy your drinks, and then you can go get your tickets, or vice versa. So that's what I'm wanting to accomplish. And at the same time, I do want to have a side door right here that's going to go stairs up here to where this can have somewhat of a functional area, instead of it just being a, you just move the minifigure up here manually by hand. I want to have some touch of realism here with the stairs going up to the second level. And so once this is closed off, I have to figure out a way to make this essentially finished. So I'm going to try and either put two doors here and get rid of this arch, even though this arch is really nice, and put windows here going to essentially cap off the train station. And so I think that once I have the outline done with the missing parts, I ordered a bunch of these windows, which, yeah, I didn't know why. I just ordered them for whatever reason. So anyways, that came in handy. So I'm going to essentially be making windows, boom, boom, boom. That's going to go here. It's going to cap this off, but also have a doorway entry here somewhere. It's going to be the entrance here to the station. So doors out and doors in, going to wherever they should go here in the station. Once that's done, that'll really cap off the design of the city nicely, and then I'll tile off whatever areas are going to be open, essentially. That way it's a nice and clean look. And I'm since the space is going to be so small on the inside, I am very, very tempted to tile off the inside as well. I haven't done that with hardly any of my builds just yet, but since it's such a small area, this may be worth tiling off. So that's one project I'm working on. Let's go ahead and talk about the next project. The next thing I need to do is take this barbershop here and transpose it onto this 32 by 32 base plate. I need to turn this into a Mills plate first, but here's essentially what I want to do. I'm going to turn this build sideways, and I'm going to have all of it facing this way. So it's going to be a longer barbershop width-wise, but it's not going to be, it probably will remain as deep. It just won't be at an angle like it is. I designed this building for the original smaller layout for the city, and I think it's time to redo this building and make it a little bit nicer. Probably, you know, add a little bit more details here and there, and go from there. And then the back side of this, the back half of it will be just for the train tracks themselves. And so once I get more train track pieces, I'll fill this back in with the train tracks, and the barbershop will have hopefully some windows, because this side of the barbershop here doesn't have any windows. This side does, but I'm going to try my best to add as many windows, that way you get a good view to the outside of the barbershop. So before I take this apart, let's go ahead and take a peek at the inside real quick and look at all the things we did a couple of years ago, and really just take in all the things. The barbers here are at work. We have some busts back there that lost their wigs, and really neat little details here and there. Nice utilization of those mirror pieces from the downtown set that I got, and a nice corner doorway here. I tried to utilize as much as I could to really flush out this barbershop, and also making some custom couches and whatnot. But hopefully, maybe I'll have some 1x2 tiles I can put on those couches to really make them fit better. I think I can maybe pull that off. I really like the red couches. I feel like a barbershop needs red couches. So that's what I have going on here in this barbershop. So let's get to work on redoing the interior of the barbershop.
Later that same evening.
Okay, so I have redone my barbershop. I have turned it sideways, made a couple of adjustments to how the layout is, but it's kind of the same, but it's a more, I guess, horizontal factor. There are some things I'd like to change about it, but due to part constraints and certain low spots in my inventory, which that's not going to be something I'm, not going to run into. It's always going to be something, as my inventory isn't ginormous, but I did the best I could with what I had, and I'm pretty pleased with the results. So let me go ahead and walk you through all the changes I made, and the follow-up for what's going to come next on to the addition to the base plate with the barbershop. Okay, so here is the barbershop now on its new home base plate. I moved it over fairly easily with little hiccups, and what I did was I turned it sideways, which you can see it's now sideways. It looks a little different. I kept some of the same elements that I had before. I do need to try and hunt down these stickers here. Hopefully I have them somewhere, as those are really nice stickers for the barbershop, and so I want to get those and stick those on that window. That way it's somewhat symmetrical. I really like symmetry in my builds, but the outside is pretty basic. Some window stuff on the side here. I tried to use these profile bricks right here with a little inlay for the brickwork to add some texture and some variety here. Same thing on this side. I was kind of going for an older type building with the use of the columns here, so that's one thing that I was trying really hard to work. And anyways, nice little roof line here with the barbershop, giving it that barbershop motif, and we're going to try and take the roof off. I had to compensate with the lack of plates that I had, so I ended up having to kind of combine those two using some smaller plate work. But let's take a look at the inside real quick, and we have a little kid here who fell over. He is uber excited for his haircut here. I put the busts here in the corner and put a little sink right there on the side, and their workstations are identical with their brushes, their shears, their water bottles, their powder puff things and little light stuff right here. And then on this side, I have a small little couch over here. And I'll put the wigs back on the bus later, but I do want to build another one of these couches and stick it over here. I just didn't have any more of the red chairs anymore. So the windows are cool. The windows are the ones that you can push forward and they open up like that, kind of like an old school window, which I think is pretty neat. And the front, like I said, is really not a lot going on here in the front as I dump pieces all over the floor, but I wanted to incorporate some older looks in the building. And you know, you're not really worried too much about what's going on the inside, minus, you know, what you set up. And it kind of reminds me of a barber shop that I went to growing up, just, you know, kind of a old school building that was, you know, built like in the 40s or 50s and didn't really get renovated too much because of cost and whatnot. But the plan is to take this and to stick it next to the railroad track, the train station, because these are going to share a long stretch of train track, which once I get this put back together, plan is to put it over here in the city. And so I'm thinking probably we'll put this, we'll scoot this down a little bit where this will butt up to this piece of track. And so the goal is to put it right here in this area. I didn't intend for it to take up that much of a base plate. I was going to do a slightly smaller build, but just having that as it is like that, I think makes a little bit more sense when it comes to having all this together. So I think for the either police station or doctor's office, I'm not sure how I'm going to put that because really and truly I only have room for really no more modules right there, because once I put that corner in, it's going to have the similar issue with this space right here, this little weird corner section here, which I could try and make a corner module. That wouldn't be too terrible of an idea. Of course, I could, in theory, you know, consolidate the train station, you know, and get rid of some of the fence work here and just scoot it over. I think that's 12 studs, so I would gain 24 studs. So potentially I could move that barber shop over and condense it a little bit, but I kind of like how it looks, so that causes me to kind of change my plans a little bit, but that's okay because plans do change. But if we take the barber shop here and put it in its potential home, which would be right here minus the roof, that's what that would look like. So it honestly could probably go back. Well, no, it's going to line up with the front of that building where the potential layout will be for the other side. So I think it actually works out pretty well. The fencing may be an issue, but you know what? It's wide enough, I think, for a minifigure to walk through. So I'm pretty okay with how that looks. There's a little bit of room that could have been had on the back of it, but honestly, once we put a few things back here with the train track and maybe some vegetation, I don't think it'll be too much space that would be lost. And plus, I'd only be gaining about 3 studs, which is kind of an oddball thing to work with, but it would kind of make nice for a porch or something like that. But that's for the future. For the time being, we'll just move on to the next build, and that will either be the upgraded doctor's office or the police station. Well, alright, LEGO Maniacs, going to wrap up this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of my redesigned barbershop and any suggestions you may have for that build in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much for watching and hanging out with me for another video. Next time, we'll try and tackle upgrading either the police station or the doctor's office and try and squeeze that into another base plate to maximize space in the LEGO City, because the train unfortunately has taken up a lot of space, so I'm having to redesign a good handful of things. So I'll have to figure out something unique with the doctor's office. I don't really want to make a 2-story building, but I maybe a 2-story building for a doctor's office wouldn't be too terrible idea, as the LEGO City does have more higher buildings than what these modulars originally were. But Anyways, I greatly appreciate you all watching. Be sure and smash like button, subscribe for more videos. I post videos as often as I can. But you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. Be sure and have a very happy Thanksgiving with your friends and family, and enjoy the holidays. So I will see you next time. Until then, friends, keep building, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.